With gold at historic highs comes an old chestnut of Italian politics. Lawmakers eyeing a solution to chronic debt, selling some of the central bank's $300 billion worth of reserves. Third highest in the world, by the way, behind the US and Germany. They wouldn't sell the gold at first, and not explicitly, it seems. Instead, lawmakers from the ruling conservative far-right coalition working on a bill to claim the country's gold is property of the Italians. That's causing wariness among nations that share the euro as a common currency, who fear it'll dent confidence of markets. But now, in a bid to reassure central bankers, lawmakers have amended the language of part of this concept, part of the budget bill for next year. Salvatore Rossi is former general director of the Bank of Italy. Thank you for speaking with us here on France 24.
Thank you for having me.
The first draft of this clause inserted into next year's budget stated the gold reserves belong to the state on behalf of the Italian people. Now comes this amended text, no longer mentions the state, saying the gold now belongs to the Italian people. How do you interpret that?
Well, I mean, first of all, this is not the first time that somebody attempts to move the official reserves in gold from the Bank of Italy towards the state, the Italian state. The European treaties establishing the euro area and the European Central Bank explicitly forbids that. I mean, according to the original text of the amendment, there was clearly a violation of the European treaties. And so, I mean, the Italian government would, would face a contrast, a fight with Europe, with the European institutions. And personally, I wonder whether this is worthwhile. I mean, in order to establish a principle, the principle that the official gold in Italy as well as in France or in Germany belongs to the people. Well, nobody doubts about that. Ultimately, that's true. But official reserves are managed and owned and managed by central banks, by the national central banks, which are public entities. So they act, in the interest of the public, of the people. And so really, personally, I don't understand why, in order to establish a principle which is already there, which is already, I mean, a well-known fact, why, risking this contrast with European institutions?
And there is a temptation, though. After all, Italy does have, again, the world's third highest, largest reserves of gold. Most people don't know that.
Yes, that's true. I mean, the Italians, Italy is the fourth in the world after the American Fed, the Bundesbank, the IMF, and fourth comes Italy. That's true. I mean, we Italians have a lot of gold. Our official reserves in gold are little higher than the French ones. But that doesn't mean that anybody could sell in the market part of that gold. Nobody was ever thinking about that. Nor the French, nor the Germans, nor the British, nor the Americans. ever. That's impossible because gold is the ultimate guarantee of the solidity of a country. And so that would give a terrible message to the world, to the market, to the world, if a country decided to sell in the private market part of its official reserves.
Salvatore Rossi, you're a central banker. Earlier this hour, we heard the U.S. president again take a shot at the president of the United States' central bank, the Fed. Is it just a sign of the times that that firewall between politicians and central banks is no longer what it was?
Well, you know, I mean, in ancient times, that was normal. That governments would, would have a fights with central bankers. In the last 30 or 40 years, we've got accustomed with another way of acting and thinking, with the independence from the politics and governments of central banks established as a sort of immortal truth. Yes, now again, as you said, it's a sign of times that again governments are trying to overcome central bankers.
Salvatore Rossi, so many thanks for speaking with us here on France 24.
Thank you.